Academics and unions have helped these carers voice concerns on pay, regulation and safeguarding. Here are a group of care workers who spoke about some of those factors at play.
This could be a lot more powerful, especially these days now where, like in the Black Lives Matter movement, the Me Too movement, you know, the voice of the ground really counts more than in the past. We need the academics, we need the unions to, I don't know, come closer and be a bit less institutionalized and rigid somehow and just go together, I feel, as a carer. So to get your attention and your focus as academics, it feels that it's giving energy for the carers to be more conscious and, I don't know, more listened to. There is potential for the sectors to cooperate, which was a first for me, really, to such extent, and this power that this setup represents.
A few of the people I spoke to didn't have anything negative to say about pay, which I found surprising. For me, at least, anyway, I could sense that the emotional boundaries were not clear. Because the emotional relationship is often a good one, it sort of eradicates the fairness of pay, if you know what I mean. The fairness of pay becomes secondary.
One of the most emerging themes, the live-in care being sort of a grey area within the regulations. The second group of problems, I think, is very much health and safety, because, you know, it's very risky. And I can give you an example from other country where basically end up the person who was a live-in carer, she was Polish, she tried to leave the house because she was accused of stealing something, and she was barred from leaving the house, and she's been working there for quite some time. My understanding is, so the mental health issue that created and it ended up in her committing suicide.
Really?
And I think this is a prime example of how vulnerable that person becomes. So, you know, you are vulnerable from the outset because you're a migrant, B, because you're a woman, C, because you work in a precarious work, low paid, usually with rough terms and conditions. And then you enter someone's house where you basically kind of, you know, on their mercy.
Just in my recruitment, I realized how little carers are interested in actually changing things for themselves. I got a lot of pushback, not a lot, I had some pushback and suspiciousness of why I want to do this. I think the problem is that some carers feel that because we migrant, we go back and forth from the countries and the exchange rates are great, they feel it's a fair pay, and they don't realize that it's not fair pay for the UK. It's not a living wage, really, for the amount of time you put in. The industry is more focused on the client, which it is. The client is important, but without the carers, there won't be clients. When I started caring, it was all about the whole client, the carer's happiness, and it's gone. It's not like that anymore.
A lot of them are being forced to be self-employed, so they have no usual rights. As you know, in the UK, employer basically can write in a contract of employment anything they want, anything they wish, the most ridiculous things they can write in, as long as they pay national minimum wage and give you 20 minutes rest break after 6 hours, then, you know, everyone is happy. And I generally think it's wrong. Making a lot of noise and trying to push for some changes or some maybe more scrutiny. To give you an example, working time regulations, you know, that are good for workers that go to work, go home, but they are no good. They are not very helpful in the context of a live-in care. If your end goal would be to create some pressure for a legislative change, I think that would be really, really good.
It's starting to be an issue of criminal gangs exploiting shortage of care workers, especially in care homes. Immigration rules are a huge factor in exploitation because of the precariousness, the cost of fees, and the general wages that one can get as a care worker in general means that the high cost of immigration and fees are very difficult. Plus the fact it's a very fragmented and solitary work.
It's feared immigration plans will force people into an insecure immigration status. This could stop them from reporting exploitation. Language and culture barriers, race, gender, and invisibility within society all play a role. Dependence on employers is also a large contributing factor.
People would think all clients are registered, but the fact is, because not everybody is funded by the local authority, there is a lot of self-funders. So actually there is a black hole. The registration would be more for care homes because this is where the cost is higher. So they need to track the cost of care for those self-funding funders. So they will then, if they meet the cap, then the government will intervene and support them. And I wonder whether there will be a case to push also for home care and live-in carers to be included. So the understanding of the market, the demand market would be clear.
If we frame the productivity benefits of this work in the context of both national and local government, then that's the kind of thing that is understood. The productivity measures are less safeguarding referrals, less time spent having to re-review people because of complaints, less ending up in court.